Hello, thank you so much for dropping by this video. I am really excited to share on this topic. It's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, and someone sent me a text, and so this is a partial response. So, in essence, I had a long conversation with someone else about they have a Hindu guru, and they're really into Bruno and his path, and she shared kind of her that she calls on Bruno for help with some things and calls on this guru for help with other things. And we just kind of talked a little bit about, the spiritual path in general. And then she sent me a text. She said, I was thinking about some of the other pathways to God, chanting the name, which is a Hindu practice of, well, actually, it's a universal practice, really, repeating a name of God or repeating a sacred uh, it's not just God, you even find it in Buddhism as well. Meditation, service, inquiry, maybe tuning in and following Bruno's teachings is a pathway for some. And so what I took that as the question as is is um, is the teachings of Bruno Groening a complete path? It's a fascinating question and one I've asked a lot, and going to explore that a little bit today. So first and foremost, let's ask the divine. Let's ask our dear friend Bruno for open minds and open hearts, and to receive this divine energy. For anyone who's new, I'm assuming people here are not new. This is about a teacher named Bruno Groening, and he taught a practice how to take in healing life energy. And it's very simple. You observe your body, having the intention to take this energy in. So let's do that for a minute or two right now. So, first we'll start with what I'm aware of that Bruno said on the topic. First and foremost, someone asked him directly, is this a new religion? And he said no. He also called his teachings Lebensweisheit, which can mean wisdom, life wisdom, or my understanding is a good translation of that is a wise or skillful way to navigate life. Information, wisdom to help you navigate life. So right there, that's how Bruno described his teaching as wisdom, as not knowledge in the human sense of the word, but really sacred knowledge how to live well. And so he also, according to Greta Hausler, that Bruno Groening's vision was that the churches and temples would be full of people who were worshiping God, and not all about worshiping God, but following God, and very specifically practicing, putting into practice. Bruno was always emphasizing that people practice their religious or spiritual teachings that they followed. He even once went so far as to say it takes so much more to be a Christian than to simply say, I believe, which is kind of this modern trend. You just say, oh, I'm a Christian, or, oh, I believe. And like, then the whole path is done. Like that's kind of the Protestant, the essence of the Protestant denomination. And Bruno was quite critical of that approach of like, oh, I believe, and then you're done. No, Bruno said we have to turn faith into deeds. So that's what I'm aware of that, Bruno Groening spoke on the topic. He also spoke of himself as a transformer who made the energy more readily available. And he said that God always has at least one transformer here on this earth. So Bruno, made no claim to exclusivity with his role, that role. In my own personal experience, I've tried to make the teachings of Bruno Groening my everything, and it just never really worked for me. Um, that's not to say I haven't grown and gotten immense benefit, but there were some things lacking, specifically sort of a metaphysical view of the universe. Bruno didn't speak very much about the structure of the universe and the nature of God and worship. To my knowledge, he never, and everything I've read anyway, he never mentioned worship. And I'm very much a worshipful person. I love worshiping. So, um, and the other thing is, Bruno Groening never structured his teachings. If you notice, he never wrote a book. He never sat down and said, here's the path. He just talked to individuals. And of course, we can glean all sorts of wisdom from that, but he never sort of sat down and said, okay, here's the path to God. He gave all sorts of things that were very helpful on that path. So I found for myself that, I don't want to say combining, but how do I language it really? I see the teachings of Bruno Groening as sort of the fundamental principles that really underlie any spiritual path or religion. And that all Bruno was here to do was to support each person in taking the next step forward. He definitely was not here to found a religion. He was here to support people on their religious and spiritual path. So that's my understanding of what Bruno taught on that topic, and that's my own personal experience. Is I before I found Bruno Groening, I had a very clear spiritual path. It was the 12 steps, which I've talked about, and then I kind of let that go for Bruno, and that was actually a mistake. I really wish I hadn't. The two are very compatible, and I definitely lost something in that. So I'm really grateful to have picked that up again. And as I've shared here many times, I've explored many different religions, and I feel most comfortable. I feel comfortable pretty much in any sacred temple: Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim. I haven't visited a Muslim temple yet. It's on my to-do list. But I feel very comfortable. But I feel most at home in a Hindu temple, and that's just me. So sort of having that as my religion, and then while seeking to practice the teachings of Bruno Groening every day, work really well for me. And there may be people out there for whom, and God knows I've tried, and Bruno knows I've tried to just put everything aside and just live the teachings of Bruno Groening, and it just wasn't, that wasn't my way. And it very well may be your way or someone else's way, but it definitely wasn't my way. And those are my personal feelings on the subject, and that's some of my experience, and then some of what Bruno Groening had to say. So thank you so much for joining in. Be curious to hear other people's thoughts and feelings. I'm more interested in hearing people's experience than their experience with or anything that Bruno Groening said that is related to this subject. Thank you so much. Wish you a beautiful day.